Good day, podcast community. We have our first outdoors podcast. It's a beautiful day here in Atlanta, so why not take
Yes, it
advantage
is.
of a beautiful day? And we have Sandra Glenn in the house or close to the house, and she's going to be with us. And we appreciate you being here. So, Sandra, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get into our podcast.
Certainly. My name is Sandra Glenn, and I am the community liaison for Watson Injury Law. That is a personal injury firm, and we serve all of Georgia and Tennessee.
Awesome. So, when it comes, what inspired you to go down this path that you're the connector, the layout? I have a trouble layout. You know what I'm trying to say? Layout,
Liaison. Yes.
liaison. Yeah, liaison
Yes, there we go.
representative for Watson.
Yes. C'est français. So it's not an easy word.
Yeah. So, what inspired you to connect with them and be that person in the community?
Well, I had been working for Watson Injury Law under a few different names. We have evolved to become Watson Injury Law since 2016. Started as an account manager and absolutely loved that job, loved connecting with the clients, loved building the relationship with the clients,
Mhm.
but had always talked with management about being, the face of the firm and getting out into the community and increasing our presence and helping. I think I like to think of it as helping on a bigger scale. I don't
Mhm.
have the personal relationships with the clients that I had before, but I can make sure that injured people get to the right attorney who is really going to take care of them.
Mhm.
I'm still in my role and my purpose of helping people, but I can do it in a bigger way as a community liaison.
Well, when people get injured in a traumatic experience, what 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 do you say to those viewers that find themselves, all of a sudden life changes in a second? How how are
Mhm.
you helping them feel more comfortable with, pursuing avenues that they're pursuing to be, just if they're injured and being able to take care of that journey.
Well, I like to say that Watson Injury Law provides the three C's of personal injury, and first and foremost is compassion.
Mhm.
Because the injured person, they're hurt, they're scared, they're worrying, what is this going to do to my finances? Am I going to be able to afford all these doctors and these bills? So the second thing that we can provide is care. We can make sure that they get to the right medical provider and they get the right medical care.
Mhm.
Using their health insurance if they have it, and treating on a lien if they don't have health insurance. We still make sure that they're going to get the medical care. And then finally, because the only recompense in that situation is financial, we get them the compensation that they are entitled to. And in Georgia, you're entitled to be made whole. And I don't think anyone who's been really injured in a car accident would ever trade the money for their health. It's never worth it. But
Right.
unfortunately, that's all that we can offer.
Right. Are there any industry trends that are going on in your industry that you feel are disrupting it or changing it today?
Well, Pete, it's funny that you asked that. I know one of Governor Kemp's big positions is tort reform,
Mhm.
and that could mean very bad things for my industry. I certainly sympathize with people who look at some of these billion-dollar, multi-million-dollar judgments and think, it's a racket, and the industry is broken, but the problem with a lot of that is sometimes those plaintiffs, they still haven't seen that money because it's tied up in appeals and everything else because no one is just going to shell out $1 billion. So I think maybe there is some tort reform that is necessary, but that certainly could hurt our industry.
Mhm.
So
What do you
I think
what
that is one of the big
mhm.
things.
What do you feel in your position when it comes to influence? What are some of the principles you live by?
Well, that's easy. Honesty, integrity, and authenticity.
Mhm. Yeah, I can attest to that because we share the same Rotary Club, so I do see
That's
I
right.
mean, I and then we cross paths out in the marketplace, so I would say yes, that
Many,
definitely
many
is.
times. Yes.
Yes, and what do you like, what habits and routines or mindset do you credit with your personal success?
Um, my father worked very hard for the company that he worked for and retired from. He worked for Norfolk Southern Railroad for 39 years, and
Mm,
he always said, "Arrive before the boss and leave after the boss." And it's about putting in the work and putting
mhm,
in the extra work.
yeah,
One of the things that I did for my clients when I was a case manager was be available. I was a phone call away on a Saturday or a Sunday at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And of course, sometimes that was a blessing and a curse,
mhm.
but they knew I was there for them, and my employers knew that I go above and beyond for the firm.
So I know being in Rotary, our Rotary is very service driven. What have you always been that way, and what kind of motivated you back when you made that journey and started serving? What was your thinking when you wanted to do something like that?
Um, my name is Sandra, derivative of Alexander, which means helper of mankind, and I have truly tried to live my life that way, helping other people.
Mhm,
Um, I was very excited to be led to Rotary, where it wasn't about what you do; it was about who you are and how you can serve.
mhm.
I serve in my church. I serve in my community with mostly mutts, and I serve in Rotary. And um, I have just always wanted to be a helper,
Mhm.
and that's just kind of how I've structured my life.
What would you say to somebody that, like I agree with you, and I think I remember, um, Jose said, like, we were riding up to the mountains for I think it was, like, Red Top Mountain, the boys' home, and he was sharing, like, he joined Rotary, and then Rotary joined him, or Rotary got into him. What Yeah, something of
Yes.
that nature. Do 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 you have a similar kind of journey, transition? Did you, like, know right away that you wanted to be involved with Rotary, had enough that you knew about it, that it wasn't that kind of transition like Jose had?
I actually knew very little about Rotary when I
Mhm,
was invited to come to a meeting. Um, but I have never been the kind of person that just joins an organization. I join an organization and then I'm going to be on a committee and then I'm going to be on the board. Then I'm going to be running projects because truly that's how you get and give the most out of anything that you do.
mhm.
So I went to a leadership institute. I haven't even been a member of Rotary for a year, but I feel like I have grown so much in my knowledge of Rotary and how truly important Rotary is and the work that we do in the community.
What would you say for somebody that, like, they've heard about it? What has been your most, like, valuable thing that you've gotten out of it that you didn't expect? I mean, you came into it, but all of a sudden, what did you learn through your journey with Rotary? Because it's been, what, about a year or less, or
No, June or
oh,
August will,
oh,
yeah,
really?
will end of
Okay,
June, August will be a year.
okay.
Mhm.
So, were there any
I'm kind of two,
surprises? Yeah.
but
Would you what would you say, like, what did you
I
not
think
expect?
one of the things maybe I didn't expect was the prolificity of Rotary. And when I say I'm a Rotarian, so many people will say, "Oh, I was a Rotarian." My minister said, "Oh, he was a Rotarian," and my father said his father was a Rotarian. And I guess these are just things I didn't know. And now it's just such a joy and an honor to meet fellow Rotarians.
Mhm. So when you're not, like, working and going to Rotary, what do you like to do to keep yourself active and busy?
Well, if the sun is shining, I'm outside. I love to be outdoors. I love to take my baby girl here to play and throw the ball. I play tennis. I play pickleball. I hike. Walk as far as I can possibly walk, and just love to be outside.
Mhm. What so you mentioned Mostly Mutts. For those that don't know what Mostly Mutts is, can you share with our viewers what they do and what you do over there as a volunteer?
Absolutely. Mostly Mutts is a fantastic organization. They go around to the larger shelters in the area
Mhm.
and bring dogs back to the Mostly Mutt shelter. They make sure they get the veterinary care, they make sure they get the training, and they make sure that they are adoptable, good dogs.
Mhm.
And they do such an amazing job. As a volunteer, I'm very hesitant to get too attached to a dog because it will be gone in a few weeks, which is a fantastic thing. That's
Yeah.
where I got the baby. But and I certainly had no intentions of getting a dog. She said you will be mine, and I think we felt the same way.
Yeah.
But what I do for Mosley Mutts is I have a certain shift, and I go and I walk the dogs.
Mhm.
Um, and I go and I help when they have events. Really, anytime I can go over there and help out with anything that's going on, and they have so much going on. I volunteered in the market. So, and I haven't even done that a year. I think
Mhm.
April will be 1 year with Mostly Mutts. So
Wow.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I are they building a new building, or are they expanding, did I hear?
Yes, they bought the little house next to them, and that's going to be hopefully one day a spay and neuter clinic, which would be fantastic.
Mhm.
Because now I think they have to take them to other veterinary places to do that. Um, and yes, they are building because when they 4-lane Cherokee Street and do all that construction, we'll be losing the parking lot. So people have been so incredibly generous with their donations to help
Mhm.
assist in that endeavor. And I know that Mostly Mutts survives on donations and volunteers. So it's just, anything people can do and give.
Yeah. In your journey, do you have good books? Do you have mentors? Anything that you could share with our viewers that have helped you, to be the person that you are?
Mhm. Um, well, I'm an avid reader. I probably read 2 or 3 books a month. I love book club because it encourages me to read books that I might not necessarily read.
Mhm.
Um, I read the Bible, and that has always been my rock. And
Mhm.
not really been one for self-help books and things like that.
Mhm.
But mentors, absolutely. I think anyone that you can learn from, you should, and you should always be learning.
Yeah.
And one
Where
of my
do you
mentors, of course, is my father, one of my favorite people.
Yes, where do you look for your mentors? Are there places within your associations where you
Mhm.
serve, or are they people online, YouTube, or different places? Do you seek out people in those avenues?
No, I think I would definitely have to have a relationship with a mentor. I couldn't just follow someone, on a podcast or Instagram or something. My mentors have definitely come from my church
Uh-huh.
and yes, from my business associations
Awesome.
and from
Where
Rotary.
yeah, I don't even know. Where do you go to church?
St. Andrew United Methodist on Canton Road.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of, but there's a few out there. How long have you been going to that church?
Um, gosh. Well, I joined the praise band in 2010, but we
Mhm.
were members there before that.
So, being a praise, so you're musically inclined, does that mean, or do you sing, or what's your talents in that
I
area?
love to sing and I love music.
Yeah.
I wish
That's
I
good.
played an instrument, Pete. I really did. But
Yeah,
I took piano as a child, but because we moved around, I
yeah,
never had the same teacher and never stuck with it.
yeah,
And many, many years ago, I got inspired by Keith Urban to buy a guitar and
yeah.
learn 30 songs in 30 days. And I still have the guitar and I've never learned one song. So anybody out there want to teach me to play guitar, or tune it? Yeah, I am game.
So we should reach out to Keith Urban and Keith, I know. What's his last name again? Urban? He's the country
Keith
singer,
Urban?
right? Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, he's a country. Okay, I know. So I'm not.
Oh
I
yes,
know a few country singers.
phenomenal
So
guitar player. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that is true.
Hmm.
So why don't you introduce your little puppy there
Yeah,
to our
he's
audience?
amazing.
Yeah. What's her name?
Oh, I would love to. I have my little puppy out here and my kitty cats roaming around. This is
Oh,
Tessa.
okay. That is
Say hi.
awesome.
She's my
Tessa.
heart. I love this
Oh,
little
yeah.
one.
The
Look at the
cute,
camera,
cute doggy.
Tessa. Look at the camera.
So as we
She's a
wind
terrier
down,
Shih Tzu mix. Got from Mostly Mutts.
yeah. Well, I think our first one was through a shelter. I think then we had two through a shelter and two that we
Hmm.
adopted. So we've had them both ways. The dogs are so
Oh, shelter
wonderful.
dogs.
Boy, you just can't
They're
believe
amazing.
how connected you can get
Yeah,
and
they are.
with them. So as we wind down, why don't you share with our viewers
Well,
how
the other thing about Mostly Mutts, I gotta
Yeah,
tell your viewers.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you about Mostly Mutts, which is so different than, well, I don't know, honestly, if it's different from other shelters or not. I just know that Mostly Mutts does it. But if you adopt a dog with Mostly Mutts, you have 30 days to return the dog and get your money back
Really?
because they
Okay.
want it to be a good home for the
Yeah,
animal and they want you to be compatible. So I think that is a beautiful thing.
yeah. So what is the adoption process for our viewers that don't know? Do they just contact and then come down there and see some of the dogs, or how do they do that?
The website, the
So you
website.
go to the
They,
website and you'll
they go onto the moslymutts.org website.
uh-huh.
You
And do
pick
you
the
select
dog that you
you
want.
select the
You
dog?
can set
And
up,
you
right. You select the dog. You have to be approved for the adoption, and then you select the dog, and you can have a meet and greet with the dog. Our
okay,
adoption coordinators are fantastic.
awesome. Well, why don't you tell our viewers how they could get a hold of you if they happen to find themselves in a fender bender and they're injured and they want to know what their options are. Can you tell them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They can call me on my cell phone number that is listed there, 678
678
697
697
4864.
or Sandra at watsoninjurylaw.com. Yes. So what would
Or
you
you
want?
can stop by the office on Cherokee Street.
Okay, where are you close to on Cherokee Street? So what's some of the landmarks there? Because I drive up Cherokee
We
Street, but I have.
are about a house away. Oh yeah, we're a house away from the Frozen Cow. We are
Oh,
next to the
okay.
Lazy Lab,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
we
I
are
know it.
across from what used to be the Nest Barbecue.
Oh, yes.
Cute
Did
little two-story white house
No.
with a
Yeah,
porch.
I now I know where you're because you're on the opposite side. I know what you're talking about. You see things and you just kind of have blinders on because you
Mhm.
just go down that road. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, well, before we wind
Yep.
down, what went into the nest? Because I knew they closed down. Or is there something that filled that spot? I don't remember.
I had heard several things, but nothing
Yeah.
has come to fruition. I just
Oh,
miss
so
the
it's
smoky smell of the smoker.
yeah. So there's nothing in that building right now.
Correct.
No. Okay. All right. So Sandra, what would
Yep.
you
We need
say?
a good business to come in here for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's a busy. It's getting busier because of everything that's going on in, from the
It's
amphitheater
been
to
busier.
all the building that
It
are
is.
going around in that area. So what
Yeah,
would
that
you?
was such a fantastic addition to Kennesaw.
Yeah, very much so. It's just that area there was like a food truck area, and then they just absolutely turned it into a beautiful amphitheater. So, what would be the one thing you would want our viewers to take home from our time on the podcast?
Mhm. Um, I think that we truly are here on this earth together to be servants.
Hmm.
And in a world that is so full of inauthenticity with with filters and cosmetic procedures and
Yeah,
just everything about what you look like on the outside.
yeah.
I truly believe it's about who you are on the inside.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for that. And Sandra, thank you for taking the time out and giving us our first outdoor experience with our podcast. So thank you. Appreciate you being with us. Thank you so much.
Well,